let's talk about a timeline. Timeline is very sensitive to the aspirations of the family and the athlete, and very sensitive to the quality of the academic setting. For a Division I Ivy female candidate, the crazy bad news is that they're being looked at in their sophomore year of high school. It makes no sense. It's not healthy. However, if you talk to Julie Shackford at Princeton, she's going to tell you that if she doesn't recruit in her sophomore year, she's not going to have the players. She doesn't want to do it, but there are other D1 institutions who are pushing that envelope, and they have money to spend, so she's doing that. But if you look at an equivalent academic institution in Division III, they're not doing that. They might be talking to students, they may be trying to build a list of the students they're interested in, but they're going to make final decisions for the most part in the student's senior year. So, it was a good question, but it's kind of a bad answer, right? Because I haven't told you that much. Boys are not usually quite as early as those sophomore girls. So when you think about what the timeline is, there are a couple factors to consider. Honestly, what level of play is the student looking at? Honestly, what academic level is the student looking at? And then there are the particulars within academic levels. So I'll go over that again. In two leagues in particular, there is a great supervision of how the recruiting occurs. That's in the Ivy League, and in Division III, that's in the NESCACs. There are some lesser areas of supervision, but pretty much those are the models. And they are looked at by their league. It's part of why they're in their league. And in other places, it's not so supervised. Sometimes it's not supervised at all. So you have that factor. Hamilton College is a NESCAC, New England Small College Athletic Conference. In Division III, that conference across all its teams has the highest level combined of academics and athletics. There are equally good athletic schools, there are equally good academic schools, but there is no league which across the board has that kind of performance.
What's the acronym NESCAC stand for?
New England Small College Athletic Conference, sometimes referred to as the Little Ivies. It's kind of silly, there's no reason for that, but yes, New England Small College Athletic Conference. So that runs from the three colleges in Maine, Bowdoin, Bates, Colby, to Tufts, to Hamilton, which is not in New England, but they're in the conference. They recently came back in for some sports. They're hard to get to. That's a tough trip. Little outline, okay? So the timeline is it's never too early to start, but it may be too early to expect a big response. You would love to be able to write to a coach and get a response and know you're on track. Well, think of this from the coach's point of view. The coach has capital to spend, whether it's Division I and there's money and other capital, or whether it's just capital with the admissions office. In other words, they're going to bring in students that they have to have some comfort level will perform for the university on the athletic field and academically. When are they going to spend that capital? So you'd like them to make a commitment, and they'd like to play their odds out as long as they can until they're very certain. Does that provide something of an answer? It isn't a hard and fast answer. It doesn't give you dates, but it gives you some ideas about what the factors are. How many players in this room seriously think they can play in Division I? Which you don't know because you're young, but who really have that aspiration? Okay, Division III is fascinating. It really is. But some Division III schools, if they have a high academic level, which means they're just generally desirable, they sit in place in the marketplace where they're desirable, and if they have decent teams, which also is desirable, they're going to wait as long as they can to see if there are a couple of players who considered the D1 level but don't want to play that way, don't want to have those off-season commitments, don't want to play for a coach who might not be so open-minded about them going abroad in their junior year, that sort of thing. So you're going to be in that setting.